Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back for another interview. Today, I got my FGCU hat on because I'm going to be interviewing one of the players for FGCU's incredible women's basketball program, uh, 5'8" guard Tyra Cox. She's been a part of so many championship teams with FGCU in the ASUN Conference. They made it to countless March Madness appearances, including this past one against Michigan. And she has really taken a step up this year to help her team succeed. And I can't wait to get on here and talk to her a bit. Hey, how's it going, Tyra?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are the workouts going this summer so far?
So far not too bad. It's been about 2 years since we've had summer school because we didn't have it last year. So it was really exciting to be able to do it this year and just see everybody again and get some things started earlier.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know last year COVID kind of messed a lot of stuff up, so it's good. It's definitely good to hear that you guys are getting, that work in over the summer. I touched on it before. You were a part of multiple Atlantic Sun Championship caliber teams. You've gotten to play with some incredible talent. The past couple of years, you mainly took a role coming off the bench. This year, you took a big step up, being that basically that third option for your team behind Bell and Morehouse. You averaged 9.3 points, scored over 200 this season. You had a crazy 21-point game where you made 7 threes, just absolutely destroyed them from beyond the arc. Talk to me about, what was different this season where you had to take that kind of leadership role for your team.
Yeah, it was mainly we had, 8 new people on the team, and with FGCU, it's typically a thing that we see that we have a lot of new faces and a lot of transfers. But this year, it was really just up to me just because I was one of the most experienced. I've been at FGCU quite a while. So it was something I really wanted to focus on, just bringing all that I could, and TK and Dot made it really easy.
Yeah, yeah, they are too. I mean, I get to, stat your guys' games every once in a while. I'll be there primarily next year doing all you guys' games, so I'm really excited. You've gotten to play alongside some great players, Nazrin Ulel, Davion Wingate, Kerry Jewett-Giles, all pro overseas. But Kirsten Bell is on another level, the transfer from Ohio State. Talk to me about being able to play with her this past season.
It's been great to be a part of. Sorry, reading. I've been a part of her growth. She's a great player. She has a lot of great things going for her, and I'm really proud to see what this year brings for her, especially. She's just a great person to play with. Great size, but also like a really broad skill set. Shooting, rebounding, kind of does a little bit of everything, and she's just a great person to be around. So this year, now that we're used to playing with each other and used to the system, it should be really interesting.
Yeah, it'll be, I'm expecting another championship. I'm expecting another one, another March Madness.
I want my fifth, so I hope so.
Got to have a ring for each finger, got to like Michael Jordan there.
For sure.
Yeah. So you mentioned the fact that she can shoot. I mentioned the fact that you can shoot. That seems to be the common theme with FGCU is everybody there is a shooter from beyond the arc. I know your head coach, one of the easily the best coach in Atlantic Sun history. I have a lot of respect for him. He's very intelligent of the game. Talk to me about that mindset for you guys and why shooting that 3 ball just seems to work so well for you guys.
Yeah, shooting's a big focus, whether it's daily workouts, practice, outside of practice. It's something that we really take very, very seriously. We look at a lot of analytics just to see how we can improve our shot, following our shot throughout the season. So Smesco is just one of the smartest people that I've ever known, even outside of basketball. So on the court, he's truly a beast. And he can make a shooter pretty much out of anybody. Even if you feel like you're not that great of a shooter, he builds that confidence in you until you have it yourself. And before you know it, raining threes.
Raining three, that's the catchphrase that they have every game for you guys. I mean, you guys make probably, I want to say like easily 10 a game at least. And that's just on and off. That's an on and off night too.
Yeah. And there's some of those, you live and die by the three on occasion. Like there's some days, we're not hitting, but we have different things in our offense that keeps us going. So just keep shooting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Threes aren't hitting. I know you guys are driving the lane. I mean, that you guys, like I said, dominated. You had an incredible win streak this season where, I mean, you lost 2 games early in the season to, I believe it was Missouri State and then Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys just won everything else throughout the rest of the season going into March Madness. Talk to me about that win streak. What really went on and why did you guys just seem so dominant and unbeatable?
Yeah, early on, we had a lot of injuries, different things that kept us out with eligibility. And then just getting used to playing with each other with COVID, we had a very short preseason. So that was a little tricky early on. But as we started to play, especially going into conference, we just started cooking. And I mean, it was kind of magical to see it. And then, of course, we ended up, hitting a wall with Michigan. But I think that just is going to help us so much this year. Just getting prepared and knowing what to expect now. We're not as much of a young team as we were last year. So just looking forward to it.
Yeah, that Michigan team was very good, but you guys stayed with them. Talk to me a little bit about that game, the mentality going into it, because you guys hung in there for a very long time with that game.
Yeah, with FGCU, we're not one of those teams you ever count out, mid-major or not. We're here to compete, and we've proved that we compete. So just going into the game and just playing as well as we can, doing what we do, and trying to stop them from what they do well. Some stuff we succeeded, other things, didn't go as planned. But I think, it definitely taught us to fight as a team and taught us some things that we do need to work on going into next season to prevent, something like that happening again. So it was definitely a learning experience, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, and you guys may be a mid-major school, but you've gotten to go against some incredibly talented high major schools. I mentioned you played Arkansas and Michigan this year, of course. Last year you played LSU. That was an incredible game. I got to be there for that. And then you guys destroyed Duke. Talk to me about, those 2 games last season were huge for FGCU. Talk to me about those games. Do you remember the feeling, the mentality that you guys had for that?
Yeah, it's actually funny. One of my best friends, she played on the team, so that was always funny, and she's on the live. But the mentality with that game was kind of the same as Michigan. We approach every team. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's BCS, doesn't matter if they're ranked. Each game is a winnable game for us. So we just look at what they do well, try to stop from what they do well. But anytime that you beat a big school like that, of course it helps our previous RPI, now net ranking for the tournament. But just going into each game, knowing how much it weighs, because that puts us in a better position for the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Going against tough teams like that helps you get ready for conference and going into March Madness. Absolutely. You mentioned your best friend. I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. She sat out last year. Kirsty Fields. How excited are you to have her back this year, and what can FGCU fans expect from her?
We're all really happy to have KP back. She always brings such a great energy and veteran spirit to the team. So it's going to be just another asset. I mean, we just keep stacking them up. So we're just so proud of her for taking these steps back. And she's been working really hard just to get back in the groove of things. So big things coming.
Big things coming. I like that. You guys have a few other Division I transfers coming in. One from Detroit Mercy, one from Clemson, and one actually that played against you guys when you played against LSU. So how is the team quickly meshing thanks to this summer workouts? How's everything progressing with the newcomers so far?
So far, so good with all the newcomers. They've all taken strides and just getting better. I think really getting into our offense and like other things throughout the year and preseason are going to be really big. But just getting everybody back in the groove of things and building that chemistry has been really big this summer, and everyone's really impressed me so far. I'm really proud of everybody.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. I know like I said, you played alongside some great players. So if you're talking highly of them, I believe that it's going to be a great season for FGCU.
For sure.
Absolutely. I know you touched on how you guys had some injuries, some eligibility stuff at the beginning of the season. You started off the season injured. You missed the game against Arkansas, missed the game against Missouri State. But when you came back, you scored double figures in 4 of your first 5 games. Just seemed to immediately make an impact. Talk to me about going through that injury process and then coming back, how excited you were to finally be back on the court.
Yeah, so I'd suffered a fractured hand. So a lot of what I was doing was just running. So I was in great shape and I was ready to, finally put it to the test and just, get out there with my team and really make a difference and, of course, use my hand again. So, I mean, just coming back, it was just doing whatever I needed for the team. I had been watching a lot, so I learned a lot of what we were kind of lacking in at the moment or maybe things that I could do to help, just looking at from an outsider's perspective. So when I came back, it was really just that and everything else kind of came along with it. But I was just excited to be back out with the team, and hopefully we can all stay healthy in preseason and get off to a great start.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to watch again this season. Last season, before you got injured, before the season started, the ASUN conference put out, the polls for the preseason player of the year, defensive player of the year. You got voted as the defensive player of the year, preseason wise, and you definitely showed it. You had over 40 steals this past season in just 24 games. And talk to me about your defensive mindset, because that seems to be a lot of what you do is making an impact on the defensive end.
Yeah, preseason awards, they're always good to get, but really finishing out the year is kind of what I wanted. And I was a little frustrated when the conference awards went out, but kind of with me, it's just doing what I can to help the team. So a lot of my defensive assignments were stopping some of the top scorers on the other team this season. So I just took that seriously, and sometimes defense creates offense, and forcing live ball turnovers or just not letting people get off to a great start is something that was helping the team. So that's something I just really took pride in. And just locking up, being in great position, and Coach Mesco really pushed me because he knew my potential. So that was one of my focuses.
That's awesome. That's a star player right there. That kind of response. That's a star player response right there. I'm really happy that I got to interview you today. After hearing what you said, I cannot wait to stat some of your guys' games this season. I know it's going to be crazy. I know it's going to be insane. So thank you so much for doing this with me today.
Thank you. No problem.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Bye.